Hey guys. All right. So, forgive me. I was like taking a picture of for the thumbnail, and in one of them I look like this again. I always think it's so funny how you don't realize what you're doing or what facial expressions you're making until you see it in a still frame, and you're like, "Wow, that's scary." Anyway, this is going to be a single storyline. So, you guys, I want to first off just mention this week I have been struggling quite a bit with my asthma. It's a lot better right now, but I will say this. Once a week I want to do this storytelling where I do each zodiac, but I had a choice to make. If I do every single zodiac, they take a lot longer. And if I rush through it, I feel like it's not a very decent storytelling at all. I did that last week and I don't really like doing it that fast. But when my lungs are funky, those longer videos, I don't really get a chance to pause and breathe. So I'm going to go ahead and do the longer format where we do every zodiac on Sunday. And today we'll just do the collective one. I totally missed the one on Wednesday just because I was kind of needing to pace myself. My lungs got crazy. Wintertime is really actually, I'm a lot better than I was 2 years ago. A lot better. I moved to a different climate and it's helped my lungs immensely. But I hope you guys don't mind being patient. It's just I could rush through it or I could do a better job on Sunday when I just have a little bit more time to keep resting my lungs. And today's going to be a light day for videos also because I know when to pace myself. So I hope that's okay with you guys. I think it'll make more sense because I don't like to rush. I got to do it in 30 minutes or less. Otherwise, it gets harder to breathe. And these usually take about, well, if I do a decent job, it takes at least an hour. So we'll go for that on Sunday. So right now it's going to be collective. We start out with the devil, um, Capricorn energy. And the fact that we are starting with the devil, but this devil is specific. It's about ties to money and wealth. We have a hermit in the reverse. We also have a queen of cups in the reverse. If this is our lead character, they may be saying, wow, I'm realizing I've been attached to something and it didn't even make me happy. I haven't even been happy. Now, this could also be our lead character just observing this in someone else. We assume that our lead character is single. By the way, we have Virgo and we have Capricorn, and then we also have got just in general, water energy. So the Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio vibe. Let's see. Tell me more about this. We got a Six of Cups in the reverse, and we got a Queen of Wands upright. I have to say, I'm going to say this is a storyline where we have our lead character who is noticing and maybe even having conversation, because this can be about talking to someone instead of withholding the information. But I'm going to say our lead character is recognizing that there's a divergence of life paths. If our lead character is over here as this Queen of Wands, they are reflecting right now on maybe a friend or soulmate who has chosen a totally different path than they have. And it might be that they see them as trapped in this cycle of kind of greed, or maybe they've even chosen a relationship. We do have a masculine and a feminine here. Maybe they've chosen a partnership purely for the money that's super toxic. And it really could be that our lead character is observing that, saying, I can't believe you picked such a toxic realm for yourself, and it's kind of wrecked our friendship, or it's wrecked our opportunity to spend time together because you're living in such a different world. It's just not the lead character passing judgment. It's almost like them saying, God, it makes me kind of sad, but it also makes me really glad I'm not choosing that path. I think it's in the nicest of ways. It's not like our characters go out and try to like judge their lives against other people's. But when you see someone who is making life choices that don't really make them happy, but they're choosing it anyway, sometimes that's when we look at our own lives and the choices we've made that are so different. So, it's like, wow, I don't know how they can do that. I could never do that. That's not what I would choose. I would choose my independence and choose to be single instead of choose to stay in a relationship for the money and the security where I'm not happy. I don't feel loved. I hope that this friend of mine will figure that part out. I'm glad I'm not afraid to walk away from things when I know they're not for me. I'd rather be single than be trapped in a cage, even a gilded golden cage. And I think that's the message that our lead character, not like they're saying, oh, look at that person. They just want the money, so they're just going to stay put there. I would never do that. It's not that attitude. It's very much looking at a scenario with compassion, saying, I realize I'm a very different quality of person. And I am proud of my life. I'm pleased with what I've been choosing. I may be single, but for me, that's better than choosing a situation where maybe it wouldn't be right for me and I would be forcing myself to stay in something that I know isn't for me. And I see other people do it, but I'm glad it's not me doing it. Like that's kind of the inner dialogue for this lead character. That may sound sassy or whatever. I don't think it's intended to be that way. I hope it doesn't come out that way with what I've just said. Page of Coins. If anything, it convinces our lead character, I really just want to look at my own life and make the list of what I want to do next. This is a character who, masculine or feminine, is irrelevant. Right now, I'm going to say she, though, because we see a queen. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm almost on top of the asthma, but you can still hear I'm barking like a seal sometimes. I got to pace myself a little. Sorry for the delay. I feel like this character is going to be able to fully embrace their single life even more so after reflecting on this. Because I think sometimes it's tempting for a character to say, okay, but why am I single? What's wrong with me? Everybody else is all booed up. Yeah, well, getting booed up doesn't mean that it's happy though, does it? And it doesn't mean that it's something they would have chosen, because when they look around and they go, well, I wouldn't swap my life with anybody else's. I actually like my freedom instead of being trapped in those other situations. So now let me think about what is it that I want to do next. I think our character is looking, especially maybe at this year, this is 2024, year of the dragon. It's a year for great creativity. It's a year for wonderful, like action taking, and a year for dreams to come true, or to put dreams in action. I think our character is going to plunk down and say, let me write out a list of all the things I want to do this year. Not like, oh, find the right partner is going to maybe even be on that list. If it happens serendipitously, fine. But otherwise, I think our character is having this this huge light bulb moment that there's all of this that they want. There's all of this pathway that they want to travel. Look at this. The world is their oyster this year. Granted, our character is in a wedding dress. Strangely, even though they may not have a partner and they may not be thinking about a partner and finding a partner this year, they may subconsciously know it's probably going to happen this year. Why? Because I don't care if it does or if it doesn't. That's not where my focus is. My focus is on all the things I'd like to accomplish. They're looking at their life in a whole different light. Being single, as our character is in this story, gives them a tremendous sense of freedom. They don't have anyone that they have to answer to, so they have no one that they have to run ideas past. When you have a partner, it's not like you have to ask permission per se, but to a certain extent, you do make, cooperative choices on things. This character does not have to consult with a partner about where they spend $1,500 that they're going to be saving this year for something that they want. I mean, it could be they want to save $1,500 and then blow it on some fabulous, very expensive, vacation. And they don't have to consult with a partner about that. They can just do it. Maybe a partner would have been like, no, pay off this or invest here. And they don't have to consult with someone about it. They get to do the things that have been their wishes, their hopes, their dreams. What are their wishes, hopes, and dreams? What is at the forefront of their mind? What is it that our character really wants? Because this is, I would say that there's something huge. We have synchronicity in the reverse. It's not something that will necessarily fall into their lap. 8 of Swords. I'm saying, what are their wishes, hopes, and dreams? This is something they held themselves back from for a very long time. Action of Swords in the reverse. You notice how we have all of these little angel feathers all around. This character has known that they wanted to do something for a long time, It was their plan, but they kept waiting for the right time and they kept holding themselves back, which means they might have missed the right time and time again, because they kept saying, no, I can't let myself even entertain doing that. I can't let myself do that thing, take that trip, go that place. It's probably not the right time. It's something that they're probably going to have to be impulsive about and just plan it and then make it happen. And they have not permitted themselves to do that. Let me change decks. I want to go with this one next, I think. This could be taking a trip, especially because the world can be travel, can be global travel. Maybe they want to go to Africa. I see different African animals, lions and water buffalo. Knight of Cups, Ten of Swords. It is a life-changing thing. It could even be that this character wants to consider like going abroad for some chunk of time, maybe not on a vacation, but maybe something that they have wanted to do for a very long time. I feel like it's about changing climates. If they have been used to being in a cold climate, they may want to do something they've always dreamt of doing, something they would love to go do. They may volunteer abroad. They may leave behind where they have been living and just be more of a nomad. If they've been a musician, this character, our single character, could also say, I want to pursue like really, following that career path. It's a big life change. And I think they're realizing now is my chance to do this. I get to live out a dream, something I've wanted to do my whole life. And our character, being that they're a queen, is probably of a more mature age. And yet the ability for them to not feel locked down and instead feel like, oh my God, the world is my oyster. I can follow dreams that I had when I was 7 years old. I wanted to be a musician and, go and perform at some festivals, some local fairs, travel with the fair circuit, whatever it is. They have a chance to do that. I feel like somebody wants to be more nomadic for a little while. And it may only be for a little while, but it's something that they've wanted to do their whole life and they're going to make it happen. That kind of life change and kind of like surrendering and following the universe's plan. I feel like maybe this character always wanted to be a bit of a free spirit and they're just going to let themselves do it now. That's really exciting. And by contrast, what they see is a lot of friends and a lot of people who've been in relationships where they are owned by the money. They live in a fancy house or something, and they can walk around and say that they're married or that they have, the house with the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the car that gets upgraded every year to the newest model and the dog. But there's not real love or happiness or any sense of adventure or freedom. And they are just looking at that lifestyle saying, that's why I never chose it. That's why I've stayed single, because I'm on a different path. And it's interesting because I think this character is realizing that their path of letting their wishes, their dreams, their hopes, their desires lead them throughout this year, allowing themselves to say, maybe I don't have to, maybe I can put all my stuff in storage and I can travel and be a nomad for a little bit. Maybe I can go volunteer abroad. Maybe I can pursue that music career. I can do these things. But ironically, that is actually me following my path with my hermit. My hermit's journey is for me to, it's almost like they're saying, my life is supposed to be built somewhere else. I was never supposed to put down roots here. My love of my life is not here. My person I haven't met yet because they're not here. They're up ahead when I am following my own real inner guidance. And sure enough, we do have with this Two of Wands. It's a different Two of Wands card because what we see is these two, instead of two paths, we see two almost identical lizards running parallel to each other. So I don't know if in the fall they're going to wind up meeting someone who they'll find out has been living a similar life. They never found that soulmate. They didn't hunker down. They've been single for a while and they decided to just follow their own inner path, their own light. And these two, by the fall, you notice all the fall leaves here, they could wind up meeting one another while they're out on some kind of personal enjoyable journey, and they find their soulmate that way. It's when they are already doing the thing that is right for themselves, which is very non-traditional. They may end up having more traditional life, but where they plant themselves could be very far from where they are right now. It's just, I think this character has wanted something real and true. They've wanted something that really matches their soul. And up until now, they haven't really been living their exact soul purpose, because their soul purpose, I think, or let me put it this way, the version of life that really reflects who they are would be one that's got a lot more freedom to it. This is a bit of a free spirit that we've been talking about in this story. And I love the fact that they are listening to that, not judging themselves, allowing themselves to acknowledge, look, I wouldn't trade my single life for somebody's life that seems to have it all, because it wouldn't have suited me. And honestly, I'm not sure I see them as being very happy with what they've chosen. So I'd rather listen to my own heart and soul, because what have I got to lose? You know, who's going to judge me if I choose to travel, to go abroad, to do the thing that I've wanted to do for a really long time, to follow my hopes and dreams? Because maybe that's my subconscious talking to me, telling me, do the thing that's right for you, instead of saying, am I allowed to? Because everybody else, that I know got that white house, white picket fence life, but they don't really look happy. So why do I think of myself as a failure if I'm not doing what they're doing? I think this character has just kind of had that eye-opening experience where they're like, oh, I'd trade my life for anybody's. And I think I should just keep making whatever decisions subconsciously feel right to me. I think giving themselves that freedom without any judgment is really bringing this character down a road of wonderful adventure this year, but also possibly leading them to the spot where they will really want to put down roots and have long term success and possibly long term relationship. But it's all just still up ahead, because this character has to take their adventures first. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Lots of love to you guys. I will see you again on Sunday for the singles read, and then we'll break it down to each zodiac, okay? All right, you guys, thanks again for being patient with me. Bye for now.